fast one because I'm at a particular corporate event and I don't have a whole lot of time, but I needed to bring this up. Michael Oher's white family. For those who don't know who this gentleman is, he's a football player, was involved in a movie called The Blind Side, or he wasn't involved, but the movie called The Blind Side, Sandra Bullock was the star. That's actually about his life. So essentially this gentleman was a young black man who apparently didn't have any family, but he's a monstrous sized human being. And this white family adopted him. He went on to play college football and professional football. And the story that they painted on The Blind Side was that they took care of this young black boy and he became part of their family. Well, we've come to find out that that is not true. We've come to find out that they didn't really adopt him. But what they did is they actually took guardianship over him as an 18-year-old so that they can make financial moves on his behalf. So they basically became his parents to be his agent and basically took advantage of him financially, to the point that even the Blind Side movie, he did not get any money from. What they did is they made sure that they created a contractual agreement between him, themselves, and watch this, their biological children, to make sure that that young man would be forever financially blessing their white family forever. Look at that. Sometimes white mama and white daddy don't make no sense, huh? It doesn't make sense. Like, look at this scenario that these individuals said that they were taking care of this young black man, and they painted this amazing picture, and this picture is absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. And when you look into these kind of things, it really hurts my heart to think that many of us have romanticized the great white daddy. Remember Different Strokes? Mr. Drummond adopting those two white children, and those two white little boys were raised, Arnold and Willis were raised by good old white Mr. Drummond, and they've created this narrative that black children and that black people themselves require a great white daddy. We have so many falsehoods in respect to paternal mentorship that gives black men and women the idea that they require a white mentor, a white father, a white leadership figure. It's so destructive to the black consciousness that makes us believe that somewhere, anywhere that we exist, we still need a white man to wand us into some type of great standing. The white coach mentality, the great white coach. Remember White Shadow? Remember that show White Shadow back in the late 80s, early 80s, late 80s? White Shadow was a white basketball coach who coached all these urban black kids, and he was this hero, White Shadow. Remember Welcome Back Kotter? Welcome Back Kotter was again a white man in an urban area. I think he was a Jew actually, and he was this great teacher, Mr. Kotter, and this entire narrative, when you look back at it, this entire thing has been created to make people believe that everywhere you require a little sprinkling of a good white father. The Jeffersons, where you have, again, the Willises, who the father, Jenny's father, is white. And he's a better person, he's a nicer person than George, and he's so cool and he's so calm. It's such a pervasive story that's been speaking to the black experience for 30 to 40 to 50 years. And so we need to be very mindful of not allowing this conversation to continue. This is why the relationship between Skip and Shannon was the little sidekick to Skip, and Skip was the father, the waymaker, and the individual who created opportunities. Again, the same mentality, and this is why it's really good that Shannon has left that show. And we should not feel sorry for Skip. We should not feel sorry for individuals who are riding on the coattails of black talent, black fame, and black excellence. We should not be sympathetic, empathetic in any way, shape, or form. We should not feel beholden to white people who have opened doors of opportunities, first and foremost for themselves, and then to so-called affect us. We're the prize. We're the prize. And it's a shame. I'm going to continue to look into this story, And God bless you to everybody here this morning. Carla Lockhart, Dark Titan. You remember White Shadow. The narratives that we need to be rescued, especially our children. Exactly. Morning, Yvonne. We don't need to be rescued by white people. We need to be rescued from white people. If you really look at the narrative of history, the Western hemisphere, full of melanated people, need to be rescued from them. We don't need them to rescue us. They can't rescue us. They have never tried to rescue us. When you look into Cadillac Records, and you look into that, remember that story about Cadillac Records? Again, another white man bringing on talent, bringing on some of the greatest black musicians in the history of music. What was he doing? Ripping people off. Basically, he was giving them Cadillacs instead of money. He was keeping their royalties. So this is a continuing narrative that even in 2023, we're still experiencing a scenario where white people have taken great advantage of black talent, taken great advantage of black excellence, black ingenuity, and have created forums whereby they can benefit more from our talent. The NBA is a prime example. The NFL is an even greater example, where white people have seen an opportunity to merchandise and to market black talent, black excellence, and make billions, if not trillions of dollars, while they give us scraps. And regardless of how much money that you or any NBA player is paid, it is fractions of what the white slave master is making to actually create that so-called opportunity for him. They should be on the lesser end of the sphere. How is it that an agent is making 2%, but an owner is making the lion's share? It's working the wrong way. It's working the wrong way. So for everybody, God bless you. We'll talk about feminism another time. That's a bigger thing, Dark Titan. That's a huge thing right there. I ain't gonna play with that one this morning because that's gonna take a breakdown. But to everybody this morning, I just wanted to come on here short. I'm gonna have a couple of throughout the day. But I'd like you to go into that story and take a look at that story. It's a tragedy. It's a serious tragedy, and it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. And please, stop the narrative that we require the great white hope to save us. Boxing found out long ago that no great white hope is coming. That's why they created the UFC. That's why they had Chuck Liddell, the Iceman. That's why they created a fighting venue where only white guys could actually be the stars. But when black men started involving themselves in mixed martial arts, Rashad Evans, and the list goes on, what took place? You realize who the true warriors were. We're the greatest human beings on the planet, and I'm not afraid to say it. We are the strongest. We have the most perseverance. We've been put through the most, and we're still here. We're still noble. We're still regal. We're still peaceful. And the world should be happy. God bless you, Miss Ann, and to everyone. Yep, Dana White created that whole great white hope. Nah, buddy. Chuck Liddell, every black guy in the hood could have beat the crap out of Chuck Liddell. When they put Rampage, just destroyed him. It's okay. So anybody, God bless you guys, and we'll talk to each other very soon. Bye-bye.